everyone, welcome back to my channel. How you doing? My name is Esther. I am a mom of three and I'm also currently studying early childhood education in school. And on this channel, I share what I'm learning about motherhood and just what growth looks like in real life. No fluff, like an actual human being. This video is just one ordinary day at home with me and my kids, but it carries one of the greatest lessons that I have learned this year. I didn't plan this video, I must confess. It was very spontaneous. It's just a regular day at home. We're at home, we eat, we get dressed, kids help with little chores, we go outside to play. There's a lot of movement, a lot of noise, a lot of ordinary life happening in the background. But looking back on this year, I realized something that completely changed the way I parent and the way I teach even. And that is this. I don't actually need to have all the answers. This was a game changer for me this year. And to some people, it's like nobody knows all the answers. There's no way you could have known all the answers. If you have my kind of personality where you feel like everything needs to be perfect, then you will understand this problem. I don't know if you're like me, but I used to feel overwhelmed by my kids' questions. Why is this like this? Why does this work this way? Why does he have to do this? There's always a why hanging around somewhere. Or what hanging around. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh God, I'm the adult. They're asking me, I should know the answers to these things. Why don't I know this? But since going back to school for early childhood education, one thing my professors used to say and still say over and over again is this: as educators, we are co-learners with the kids. We are not expected to know everything. We are learning alongside the children. And honestly, that idea changed everything for me as a parent too. The truth is, we have never been this version of a parent before. This is the first time you're being a parent. This is the first time your child is also being a child. At this age, you are both learning at the same time. So now, when my kids ask questions that I don't know the answer to, I'm not like, oh my God, why don't I know this? I just say, you know what, mommy doesn't know the answer, but let's find out together. And suddenly, the learning feels a lot easier for them and even for me, less stressful. We may start out at one topic, and because of the plethora of questions and research we are doing together, we end up somewhere else completely different. We've talked about fireflies and sound waves and echoes and echolocation, how birds move in the dark. I learned that while we were doing one of our science studies. Things that I had never planned to teach that day. And we don't always finish the lesson, but that's actually the point. If you're like me that likes to do step by step, we need to finish this lesson to go to the next one. The point is not actually to finish the lesson. The point is to keep them curious. When learning follows curiosity, children stay engaged. They care because they are also invested in the answer. They also want to know. They are not just being told information, like they're part of discovering it. And this doesn't mean that we are on screens all day. We are actually very intentional about screen time in our home. I don't believe screens are bad, but I do believe boredom is where creativity lies also. When kids are bored, their brains, I believe, start working. They imagine, they explore, they ask questions. So some of our best learning moments this year didn't last more than 15 or 20 minutes, honestly. But those minutes were rich. They were meaningful. And they stuck. My kids remembered those things because they cared about those answers. And that's what I want parents to hear in this video. You do not need to do more. You do not need to know everything. You do not need a perfect plan. One of the most important things you can do for your child, especially in the early years, is to protect their curiosity. If they're curious, they will learn. If they want to learn, everything else becomes easier now and later. So as we move into the new year, one of my biggest goals as a parent is this: not to rush through lessons, not to chase outcomes, but to create an environment where my children feel safe asking questions, excited to explore, and confident that learning is something that they get to enjoy. If this resonates with you and you're like, me to share more about how we spark curiosity at home, how we extend learning without pressure, or how to support children ages 0 to 6 in a simple, realistic way, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your day here with me. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.